Good morning. It's so exciting to be at Flow 2.0. It's been a year. It's now our second Flow. Since that time, you folks have been automating like crazy. Rewst has done over 8 billion tasks, 22 million per day, averaging over 250 per second. For those of you who put time savings in your workflows, and if you don't, you know who you are. We've done 9 million hours of time savings in the past year. The really cool part is every second, Rewst users are saving 17 minutes per second. It's crazy. So obviously, automation is thriving in the MSP space. But we just can't accept the norm. If we did, we wouldn't be where we are now. So we must keep pushing the automation industry forward and continuing to innovate. I'm going to talk a little bit about automation and AI and the fact that they're not equal. They're not the same. It doesn't mean that one is any worse than the other or one is better than the other. It's just that they're different. And I think as an industry, it's important that we recognize this because I'm afraid there are MSPs who are buying automation products thinking they're getting AI or buying AI products and thinking that they're getting automation. But before we can say how they're different, we must first define the words we're using. And this definition of automation, it's not in the dictionary, it's mine, and it changes monthly. But right now, the definition is a rules-based thing that can interact with the world and focuses on speed and reliability. AI, on the other hand, is software trained to think like a human and create like a human and problem solve like a human. So putting them side by side, automation is about speed and reliability, and AI is like thinking like a person or problem solving like a person. This is very similar to our journey with physical robots. There's just something about physical robots that we just inherently understand as a child, unlike software robots. And physical robots, we know and we're aware that someone pre-programmed it to perform a specific task. This is an automation robot. And just because it was pre-programmed to fix a specific task doesn't mean it's bad, right? Like, I'd much rather have these automation robots moving the boxes instead of hundreds of people who could make a mistake. We now see AI starting to leak into our automation robots. 2022, Tesla shows us the first initial prototype of Optimus, and it better not have had AI, right? Like the way it stumbles and waves, it very much seems like this was a set of rules pre-programmed before the robot came out. However, that was, very early in our AI adoption in physical robots, right? In 2023, we're estimating 1.7 billion invested in physical robots with AI, and in 2030, we see a whole bunch of investment, like more than 10 to 100x investment. So we're shifting from a world of automation robots to intelligent robots, and everything a part of this shift applies to software robots, not just physical ones. As we know, automation robots pre-programmed AI ones or intelligent ones, they learn. Automation robots execute blindly. Intelligent ones ask questions to gain context. Automation robots follow instructions exactly. AI robots analyze their execution and perform optimizations. Automation robots, they don't leave a task trace or reasoning because they don't need to. They were pre-programmed. You know exactly why the automation did what it did. The AI, you may not know why. So it generates summaries of what it's doing. Fast forward 2 years later, Optimus comes back out again, and it definitely has the AI brain. And the cool thing about how they did this is they trained Optimus in a virtual body, in a virtual environment to dance. And the dancing that you see on the screen is its very first attempt to dance once it came in the body. We now see cobots. You know how we have software development copilots? Well, we have cobots now that watch people work and learn from them and then offer assistance once they've learned. You see, physical robots just make sense. And we intuitively understand that when we see a robot, we go, who programmed that thing? Who told that robot to do that? Even as a kid, we know that. But our software robots, we expect them to just do things without us ever telling them what to do. You see, someone has to solve the problem. Someone has to find the solution. Someone needs to think like a human. So it either needs to be a person automating it and problem solving, or it needs to be a piece of software problem solving and acting like a person. But somebody's got to do it. Today, the only way to do that in Rewst was to have a person. What if we dropped an AI brain into a software robot, just like Tesla dropped an AI brain into their physical robot? We go from just simply intelligent workflows to an intelligent platform. Daniel with an A is making me say that at the end of this presentation, I'll be showing dates when these features are available. I'll also be performing awkward video demos here right now. All right. The first piece to our intelligent platform should be maybe automated documentation, right? A person would typically do this. You know, maybe a machine thinking like a person can do that for us. Show of hands, who's seen this screen before, or a screen like this, a workflow canvas? Okay, a lot of you have seen the workflow canvas. Looks like 80% of you. This is a random workflow. It doesn't matter what the workflow is, right? Let's see if I can get it to play here. Okay. On our workflow, we go up to the notes section. You'll see we have a Rewst generate documentation button. Rewst is asking its robot overlords to document out the phases automatically of this workflow. And you can see each and every phase has a documentation square around it, and it's been fully documented by Rewst. And maybe I will zoom in here just to show you some of the sections in the workflow. You know, show of hands, do you see why this would be valuable to have your workflows auto-documented? Yep, awesome. That's just the beginning. The next piece of an intelligent platform should maybe be asking questions and getting relevant answers. What we have here is another workflow, and you'll see an AI agent chat interface. And in this chat interface, it is contextually aware of our workflow and what we're doing. Let's ask it a question. I'm thinking I want this workflow to kick off when a ticket in Halo gets updated. What triggers are available? And Rewst starts to think. And hopefully we'll come back with a list of Halo trigger types here momentarily. And here we go. We've got 4 Halo trigger types, information on how to set up the Halo integration and how to configure it to use those trigger types. The other neat thing is we get the sources used, and we can drill in and go see the sources that the AI used. The next piece to our puzzle is analyzing failed workflows. Just like you would use a copilot in a software editor, there's no reason why the AI brain can't act like a human and tell you why a workflow failed. We have a workflow, we're gonna go ahead and test it, and if you look at the upper right, it's gonna fail. We'll go into the results. You'll notice there's a new Rewst. We select Rewst, and he starts thinking. And hopefully will tell us what we did wrong on our workflow. And here's the analysis generated by Rewst, and you'll see the issue was our task criteria transition was set incorrectly, and we need to fix it. So a great way to do analysis on your failed workflows. And then the final piece of the puzzle, as we talked about with hardware robots, someone's got to use a brain to solve the problem to program the robot. It could be a human brain, or it can be an AI brain. One thing to keep in mind, it's vibe coding, right? Vibe coding hasn't replaced software developers. You still need someone to enter something into a prompt, the correct thing, and then someone to review the AI outputs and make sure it's correct, right? And that someone could either be someone within your MSP or an MSP automation service provider. So now, I'm going to awkwardly read this paragraph to you in case everyone can't see it. We're in our Rewst AI agent chat interface. I have an issue where my accounting department spends a week every quarter reconciling the user count in M365 to the user count in Halo invoices. Is there a way we can automate this? I just want to know about the ones where they are mismatched, really. If there's a greater than 5% change, either up or down, then create a ticket for that company. Else, just update it. We currently store user counts in the invoice itself, so that's where it'll need to be updated. I just want one run for it now. So let's go see what Rewst does when we submit this paragraph for the workflow to build. The first thing it does is it comes up with an example of the workflow that's about to build that we can approve or reject. That way we don't have to wait for the workflow to complete if we know it's completely incorrect. It also allows us to do a quick sanity check of the workflow before it's created. And now Rewst is thinking. We can see tasks begin to appear, and what I think is really neat is the way it thinks differently than a person. Normally, we would put a task in, and then a transition, and link it. It puts the tasks in first, and then adds the transitions. We're going to go ahead and fast forward this, and you'll see our completed workflow. And not only did it complete the workflow, if we drill into a transition, it created the Jinja too. So it's creating all aspects of the workflow and providing an AI summary of the workflow that it created. Does this make sense to everybody? Is this cool? I want to throw some thank yous out there. There's a special team within Rewst, Team WinProd. So thank you, Team WinProd. By the way, WinProd. And also Pizza. I'm calling Pizza out directly. If you have not met Pizza, he's part of the human brain of Rewst's brain. All right. We didn't just bolt AI on just for a marketing thing. Like, we could have already have done that. And we have a multi-agent approach, not because saying agent swarms is cool, but because it was the only way to do this. So built into Rewst, we have Rewst, which is our supervisor agent, and then we have many other agents, especially when we build workflows automatically, that Rewst is interacting with. We have an action search agent that all it does is find the actions that you need for a workflow. Flow control, which builds the flow of the workflow. Jinja generation agents, and many more, just to make it work. So Rewst has transitioned from someone that would do a few things here and there to a major component of an intelligent platform. Right, so you can see here the components of what we think should be in an intelligent platform, what should be within an intelligent workflow, but I think there's something missing. There are other AI brains that are dying for a software robot to drop them in. So that these AI brains, remember, AI can't just interact with the world. It needs a robot. And what if you already have an AI brain and you want it to interact with the world? That's why we're also going to be introducing our new MCP server. And for those of you who don't know what MCP is, it's Model Context Protocol, and it's a standardized way for us to have AI agents communicate with data. We have a new MCP server that your third-party AI can authenticate to. And then the way that the third-party AI knows what to do is there's a new trigger type called an MCP trigger that you can apply to your workflows. This will allow this third-party AI brain to discover what sort of worldly interactions it can do, and then pass parameters and execute those interactions directly through Rewst. Here are the dates that Daniel promised these by. So you can go ahead and get your photos so you can follow up with him on timing. It wouldn't be a flow without a new maturity model. And whenever we're talking about something new, I love to do these models. So one of the benefits to you is if you're looking at automation products, you kind of want to know where it ranks. So here's my ranking of maturity models for intelligent platforms. First off, level 0 is simply one that can automate things. Level 1, workflows are intelligent. Level 2, the platform maybe uses some AI to troubleshoot. Maybe they have an external MCP server. Level 3, the platform uses AI to build automations. And then it also uses AI to do process discovery. And then level 4, which is my favorite part, is completely aspirational. It's very rare that I come up with a maturity model that's got an aspirational component. So I'm not even saying Rewst is level 4. And we may not be there as an industry for 12, 18, 36 months. But just the fact that we have this something to shoot towards is really cool. But based on what I demoed, where is Rewst, right? It's not a level 2 because it has all that support, and it has in level 3 it uses AI to build automations, but it doesn't do process discovery. So is Rewst a 2.5? Something between a 2 and a 3? No, I think it's a 3. So once you have AI able to build workflows, and by the way, people could build this workflow right now, you can prompt the AI to find processes to automate. And so I'm going to now awkwardly read this paragraph to you, and we're going to use AI to find things to automate in our environment. The prompt says, I'm wondering if we can make an automation that looks at the last 90 days of my tickets, reviews the notes on them, including the time, and can tell me what to automate in a nice HTML form or similar. We should use OpenAI to analyze the data, and I want to make sure we are automating time savings, whether that's through consistency from common things or big ticket automations. So let's go ahead and see what happens when we submit this prompt. Something does happen almost immediately. Maybe. It asks us a question. You've got 2 PSAs configured. Which PSA should I use? And then we say we're using Halo. It also asks us how often this should run. Oh, it's trying to figure out if it needs a cron trigger. So we go ahead and answer the questions, and RoboRoosty is going to think. It comes up with an example workflow that it's going to build. We're just going to do a quick sanity check on that workflow, and we're going to go ahead and approve it. You can see the tasks begin to form on the screen. I'm going to speed it up here in a moment. This is what our completed workflow looks like. There's our description, and here's our HTML output. You could actually do this today with people. But the new RoboRoosty AI allows you to just do it via a prompt. This analysis was done by analyzing the last 90 days of tickets in their Halo environment and creating an HTML output, and we're viewing that now in our browser. I'm coming towards the end of my presentation. I just want to talk about a couple quick things. This conference, we don't make money off this conference. So yeah, if you're a board member, cover your ears. We do this because we believe in our community, and that Rewst wouldn't be here unless the MSPs in the community talk to each other about how they use the platform and help each other. And so the main goal of this is to get everyone together and meet each other. With that in mind, the vendors are what make this happen, so we're not completely negative in this conference. So make sure the vendors have a good time. Go to their booths, talk to the vendors, learn about their products. If you see a vendor presentation as part of their sponsorship, clap for them, be happy for them, because they're the reason why we're able to have this conference and bring our community together. Also, think about how many conferences that you go to that's about such a narrow topic. Everybody in this room cares about automation. So it's one of the few places and few conferences that you can just randomly walk up to someone and ask them, hey, where are you in your automation journey? And have them give you a response. They'll know what you're talking about. If they're ahead of you, ask them how they did it. If they're behind you, offer to help them. I have now notified everyone in this room that you will be approaching them, so it won't be awkward either. All right, do I have time for any questions? I know we have microphones floating around. The question is, how close are we really to agentic AI and automation? And the agentic AI component that I showed was the level 4 in the maturity model, the aspirational, that it acted on its own to find things to automate, and then it made the automations. I think one of the thought patterns that we have as people, which is completely wrong, is that every new thing we talk about is actually new, and it's not. Like, for example, one of the worst things we ever did as humans who use computers is think cybersecurity is different than IT. And it set cybersecurity back at least 20 years because it became a very non-technical place to be, because we had to relearn everything because it's different, right? Agentic AI is not different than anything we're doing today. It's an intern. It's a new employee. It's a junior employee. And one of the ways we protect ourselves in AI is we do the same exact things we would do for a junior employee. We have it ask for approvals. We make it say please and thank you. And how far are we away? I think it's really not the software for agentic AI that's a challenge. It is those approvals. It's what is the user experience like when the AI finds something to do and needs to do it. It's also about accuracy. We need to make sure we're as accurate as possible before we go there, because what would you do if you had a new employee and every time it did work, it made a mistake? That employee wouldn't be there, right? So we need to focus on accuracy first, approval process second, and then all the rest of the software will just come into place. And my feeling is we're probably 18 months out. Yep. Good question. So the question, I mean, there's like so many different ways to answer this question, and it's also based on how the automation is configured. Like, you could drop the automation directly into your customer's tenant in Rewst and not have it in your MSP tenant and not have it in any other customer tenants. Or you could have that customer potentially have their own Rewst account entirely if they're that paranoid about an automation running.
Hey, Aaron.
Yes.
So the focus is looking to be more on the client-facing automations or automations for clients. What changes to Rewst do you see happening for improving those kind of workflows?
I think before we can, my brain, always take a step back. And my step back is we need more expert MSPs building automations in general. And we need to focus on enablement of automations being built. I think the first step to increasing customer side automation building is the AI component. It reduces your costs. Are you going to build something? Yes, even if you're using AI. But it instead of starting with a blank canvas and dragging in that first no-op, you can start with at least an AI attempt at the automation, and then simply fix it. It could reduce the amount of time that you actually spend building the automation by 75% or more. Yes. Okay. Yeah. One more question.
With the MCP support, you had OpenAI. Does that also include Copilot?
There was, I didn't catch the very beginning.
With the MCP server.
Does it include a Copilot? Yeah. There's no reason. So the MCP server that we're talking about is an external MCP server. The internal MCP servers, I think, are being delivered in Q4. And the MCP's internal server is what provides the Copilot functionality by default. And so the RoboRoost chat window that you saw is context aware. It knows where you are. If you're building a workflow or if you're on a results page, you can simply ask it what to do. And if you want to go further, say, hey, create a with items loop for me, add these no ops for me, you can do that right within a workflow editor and it'll drop. I saw a demo yesterday where we asked it to rearrange a workflow, like a human workflow was workflow was created by a human, and it reorganized it and made it look nicer, very much like a Copilot. All right, thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming to Flow.